Hello, my name is Ethan Zhu, and this is my open source contribution project recorded presentation. So I'm going to get right into it. As you can see, this is the GitHub repository. So just to describe what this repository is titled Entropy, and it is a Python package for complexity extraction as well as fractal dimension extraction. So just to go through this a little bit, going into here, this is where the bulk of the code actually is. So here we have entropy calculations, fractal dimension calculations, and this is just a utilities.py with some necessaries. And in here, this is the test folder. And yeah, that's about it for that. How I found this, it was an issue that was displayed that the cat's fractal dimension seemed to be incorrect due to some previous research papers. And from there, I went in, forked the repository, made my own, as you can see here. And beyond, I guess that we forked it, put it on my local PyCharm, and then from here on out, it was just reading some research papers, reading up on the documentation and such. So here are just two of the ones that I used. Um, Obviously, I don't have an extensive knowledge of this field specifically, but I have used feature extraction on this using these kinds of methods before, so I was familiar. But basically, I went through the documentation for this. There's some existing documentation online as well, such as some MATLAB implementations that I reviewed as well. And ultimately, I came back and here you could see entropy. So basically, I went into the fractal.py and right here for cats FD, uh, I redid the code here. So I'm going to compare it actually to the original implementation. Entropy, fractal. Yeah, so this is the original implementation right here that I just highlighted. And this is my implementation, which for the most part, the main difference is that this was done using linear distances, whereas my implementation was using the corrected Euclidean distance for the calculations of the path lengths. And as you can see on the right in PyCharm, um, actually this is not necessary. This is the fractal.py after the modifications. Beyond just changing the implementation so it was corrected, we also modified the test cases for it. I built test cases using their already implemented PyTest. And so this is that. And then utility-wise, just building some signals that we could use, as well as testing data input types. And for the most part, that is it. So in terms of what turned out the way I expected, it was a pretty straightforward process. You fork the repository, make your changes, send a pull request, which actually you could see over here. This is my pull request, and I can go in. So yeah, most of it did work out in my favor. I was not completely certain with all the formatting issues, which is why um, it was canceled here. And his comment basically, make sure the CI tests as well as the lint tests are all passing, which I went ahead and did. That involved importing black and formatting it correctly. So now at this point, I changed everything, changed the testing, and now I'm just waiting for his reply later on this week, hopefully Thursday, Friday, and hopefully I make my first successful pull request. In general, I wouldn't do anything differently. I think it followed a pretty streamlined process, at least for Python repositories. For other kinds, I don't know. I would have to get into that in the future, but it was a pretty straightforward project. Actually far more enjoyable than I thought it would be. And I think this is going to be able to positively benefit a lot of people. Thank you. Yeah. And that's my presentation.